So where are you at now? You're obviously a writer.
I'm a writer, and I do seminars to people, and I speak all over the world. I'm just actually on a world tour. I'm leaving to the UK next week, and it's the name of my seminar is Extreme Wealth and Success while maintaining your integrity and ethics.
Lovely.
And that's my message: is listen, like you said, you want the Ferrari, have 3.
Yeah.
But if you made enough to get 3 Ferraris, then you should give 30 times that in value.
Yes.
It's about giving value and helping people. If you do that, the money comes naturally. So I'm doing the UK, then from there I'm going to actually to Asia. I'm speaking with Tony Blair. It's got on the same stage as Tony Blair in Asia. I'm doing one in Malaysia. Wow. From a guy that was once in jail, right? Now I know on stage with a former Prime Minister of Britain. Then I'm going to doing 4 cities in Australia, then Canada, US, and that's what I do. And this is my
I was going to say, when you're in Australia, I'll take you sailing, and then I just went, actually, no, I won't.
Listen, and I'll tell you, and by the way,
I like the boat.
This is very interesting, right? I'll tell you something interesting about Australia, and you can Google, this is a true story, is that these 4 things that I teach, they apply to anything, even sports, especially sports, because it's so measurable. I worked with a rugby team there called the Melbourne Storm, which I'm sure you know. Yep. Great team, and they were just getting into the playoffs, right? And the year prior, they'd done pretty well. They'd gotten annihilated by Manly, 43-3.
That's where I live, Manly.
Manly, right? So I was called in to give a speech to them, a motivational speech, where I used my 4 things with the Melbourne Storm athletes, and they're phenomenal guys. And I focused on everything but strategy, because they have the strategy. So again, you got to know your audience. I'm not going to tell them how to play rugby, but I showed them how to create a vision of winning. Not we're going to win, let's set a goal. No, way beyond. I had them so inserted into the winning vision that they could see the spiral spinning. I literally had them totally like drooling in the room. I showed them how to anchor in states of confidence and certainty to turn their bodies into steel in the room. The beliefs that whatever happened last year was irrelevant, that they had the best coaching, the best preparation, right? Best physicality. That weekend they went and they beat Manly 46-0. Well, no, 46-6, because it was 46-0. Then they took their 4 players out and Manly scored 6 points at the end. They destroyed Manly. They called me back again the next week, right? Before they played, I forgot who it was. They played some other team. No, that was in the finals, right? They destroyed the next team 40-0.
Wow.
The final or thereabouts, right? And then they were filming me. I was giving a motivational speech on the field, and it was all over the news in Australia that I was doing this, and they went on and they won the premiership.
Wow.
And I got a lot of credit for that, and I probably didn't deserve it, but maybe I did. Who really knows?
Well,
the things I did with athletes like Billy Slater and Craig Inglis, these are amazing athletes, but for them, it's the difference between amazing and extraordinary, that next level up. It's this much. It's a millimeter. That's all it is. And it's like, what happens is in life, it's this. And this is a great example. What happens to the guy who wins the gold medal in the Olympics in the 100-meter dash, right? He gets his face on Wheaties boxes. He gets the big checks. He gets the sponsorship deals. Yet how much faster was he than the guy who came in second? Like 1/1000th of a second, right? And that guy, well, he gets a couple of applause. Maybe he gets a sponsorship deal. But the guy who came in 4th, what does he get? A lump of coal.
Yeah.
And he's probably separated by 1,000th of a second, too.
Yeah.
Okay, life is a game of inches. It's a game of millimeters. And these distinctions that I teach, they're so powerful. And that's what when I'm on stage, I get really passionate, and sometimes I will cry, and sometimes the audience will, because I talk about my life, my mistakes, and I'll tell you what my mistakes were. It's important to talk about that too, what the mistakes were. Really quick, the number 1 mistake that I made is I had the most destructive belief inserted in me, and beliefs are inserted in us from the time we're this big. Yeah. When I first made my money, the first thing I did, I made $650,000 in one stock trade. You know what I did? I didn't buy a house. I bought a white Ferrari Testarossa. Why? Because Don Johnson drove one in Miami Vice. Thought I had to have it. He was cool. Second thing I did, I took a plane out to the West Coast and checked into the presidential suite of the Regent Beverly Wilshire. Why? Because Richard Gere done it in Pretty Woman. But the most destructive belief that I followed was Gordon Gekko, who said greed was good. And it's bullshit. Greed is not good. It's ambition that's good. And it's passion that's good. When you have greed in your life, the first thing that goes out the window is ethics. It's like this. Yeah. You don't lose your soul on Wall Street or any other street all at once. It's a bit at a time. It's tiny, imperceptible steps. You do something, you're doing everything right, you step over the line, you step back. You're like, oh, nothing bad happened. But next time you step over the lines move, so you step a little bit further still. And all of a sudden, a couple of years pass, you're doing things you never thought you'd do. You're associating with people you never thought you'd associate with, and everything seems just all right. It's like dipping your toe into a piping hot bathtub. Oh my God, it's so hot, right? 5 minutes later, you're underwater and the water feels perfect.
Yeah.
That's how we're built. We habituate on our emotions.
And that's what I wanted to say was I'm very grateful to people like yourself and the gentleman that was in my life where, you know, he's now serving time in jail for fraud, was that, you know, you can't have hot without cold. You can't
What's
have
his name? Is that like a secret or something?
Well, I don't.
Curiosity, yeah?
I don't feel comfortable saying his name in that.
You'll tell me off screen.
Yeah, I'll tell you off screen, absolutely. Well, no, it's just...
Then I'll post it on the internet on your site so everyone, your audience don't get mad.
Yeah, I just, you know, unless I've spoken to him and that he would be okay with that, I don't know where he's at in his life, but I just know that, yeah. But what I was going to say was that you can't have hot without cold, good without bad, up without down.
We live in a world of duality.
Yeah, we live in a very dualistic world where you have all of those things, and it's wonderful to have, you know, somebody has to do what you did, and you did it. And thank you for doing it, and then not just shutting up and going away, but thank you for doing it, and then actually saying, like, I made a mistake. I screwed this up, and what it does is it actually allows other people who are in forms of success where they can feel that line creep, because that's what you do. Is when you start reading the book, you're like, oh wow, you know, it's like he's successful.
And all of a sudden, like, stop! What are you doing? Like, why are you doing it? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like, you could make $800,000 a week legitimately. Why do you go extra to that?
Yeah, and but what it is though is it actually serves as a wonderful lesson, and I think that you've got a lot to offer the world in the form of success. But I would say that there's a lot of people like Tony Robbins and the people of that ilk out there that can, you know, they do a very good job of delivering that. What no one really does though is sort of says, hey, I screwed this up big time, and you're going to still have success. If you do these 4 things, you're going to have success, but make sure you do it ethically. Make sure you do it. And to really come from that personal experience. And I really appreciate that. I thank you for that, because it would have been easy to have just, you know, hidden or let your story be those excuses. And I think it's a wonderful gift that you can actually turn around and give to people.
You know what it is? Let me tell you, when you have something inside you that you're really passionate about, it's like sometimes I'm dying to tell people, like, listen, it's easy. Number 2, it works. Number 3, you can do it. Anyone could do it. A baby could do it. And people get caught up in the daily cycle of life, right? And they just go about it, and they get cubbyholed into a state of learned helplessness. And you know what? In this economy, in this decade that's upon us now, if you have that mentality, a poverty mentality, you're going to end up in trouble. You're not going to be able to retire with dignity. You're not going to be able to take care of your family, protect your family. The stakes are real here. It's not about, like, you know, no, let's be successful. Average is death right now. It just is. The government's not going to be there to take care of you. You know how much? I have 2 kids, and they go to private school because I make a lot of money because I work hard. And you know what? Your kids, if you have kids or whatever, your kids deserve to go to the best schools. If something, God forbid, happens health-wise, you deserve to have the best health care. That's what having money is all about. And you know what money is like? It's like oxygen. You need it to breathe. But there's only so much you can use in any one lifetime. After that, you give it away.
Well, it just gets given away automatically. You die, it goes on to other people.
You give it away. Well, listen, trust me, the money I make, I'll give half to charity. Okay, I don't need that much. I live a great life. I don't need that much. Okay, but the bottom line is this: for anyone who's watching, for your viewers, okay, this is not a decade that you could just sit on your hands and let things be business as usual. You need to take action. I don't mean to be massive. I'm not trying to make it like a buzzword. You need to do something, because it's not the status quo. It's a decade of empowerment. People that make the right moves right now are going to do really, really well. And the people that subscribe to the old thinking of the past, which is bankrupt thinking, which is, you know, working for a company and just thinking that the government or the company's going to take care of you. It ain't going to be anymore. It's just not the way it's going to be. You want to work for a company? Great. Not everyone's meant to own their own business. Listen, I respect the woman I'm in love with. She was a stay-at-home mom. The most noble job in the world. There's no more noble job than that. But somehow, there's got to be someone in the family unit that's responsible for bringing in money, because simply it's a problem that needs to be solved. The money problem that needs to be solved. And my thing is this: it's so easy to make money, so you might as well do what you love. Be passionate and make your money like that. Don't make your money by working something that you hate and every day's a chore. That's not a life.
And that's the thing is you made your money in your brokerage firm, really, from educating, breaking people's beliefs, pulling together a good culture. There's like those success principles that you had then, and what I say is what you love.
There's four. And I left.
Well, we're gonna have to wrap.
Real
So
quick.
we'll do the four.
Four things. Ready? I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you. Then the last thing I'm gonna leave you with. Four things. Number one is the ability to create a vision. The second thing is your state management. Third is your beliefs. The fourth is your strategies. And the last thing, which is not, it's just the glue that holds everything together. That's your standards of where you want to live, like what you will not settle for less than.
Yeah.
And that's in the end. Some people's standards, they have to pay all their bills, so they pay all their bills.
Yeah.
Others have to pay some of the bills, so they pay some of their bills. Others have to pay everyone's bills, and they do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Your standards is your musts in life, and you need. The first thing I say to people, my brokers, I raise their standards. They would not settle for average.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's different. What you have to do to be comfortable in this world, and what you got to be rich in this world, two entirely different things, different mentalities.
I'm going to leave on this because it is on the old you and the new you. If you like prior to coming out of so the old you prior to jail, coming out of jail. What were your values? Top 3 values. Before.
Money.
Yep.
Power. Sex.
Okay. And now, what are your top 3 values?
Giving.
Yep.
Family.
Yep.
Freedom.
Wow. And that's a big shift. Thank you very much.